Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Deenuji Loganathan. Today we are dive into a very powerful and often overlooked feature in Power Automate Desktop. Yeah, that is Power Effects. So before jumping into the today's topic, quickly outline what we will be covered today. Okay, so in this video we will cover how to create a Power Effects enabled flow in Power Automate Desktop and how to read values from a data table using Power Effects, multiple ways to iterate through the data, and finally we also covering like how to insert a rows using Power Effects and some .NET workaround. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's get into the today's topic. So it was released probably a year back. Even it comes in the GA as well. But I mean, if you look at, this is really many developers are using. No, at the moment, because the way how the Power Effects and the Power Automate Cloud Flows are designed and how we are handling the data type there, that is a completely different. And this, Power Effects in desktop flows is completely different, I would say. So today I am I'm going to cover like how to read the data from data table if you go with the Power Effects enabled flows. So in last year, almost I'm getting at least a Power FX based queries multiple times in the forum. I used to suggest the solution and all. Okay, even this is the one kind of sample how to read the value from data table and set the variable to Power Automate Desktop. So this is Power FX enabled one only. And if you look at the document, that also not very much clear how to read the data from the table. Okay, so today I'm going to cover that. Okay, so let's get into the Power Automate console and let's create the new flow. Now let's disable this data table, read data table, Power FX. Okay, let's create the flow. So meanwhile I try to probably let's create on table data table here itself. Okay, so let's create a data table. So I'm just going to drag and drop, create a new data table, and I will keep this as fruit name and quantity. I will just keep it simple. Okay, so here let's keep apple 5 and orange 10. Okay, so now we have our data table. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so far it's good. Now you can see the data table values here. So now let's try to iterate this data table and let's see how we can able to do that in the Power FX enabled desktop flow. Okay, so I'm going to use for each here. Then I'm going to pick our data table. Now we will get the row in current item. Okay, so let's create a new variable and let's keep this as a current row. Okay, and we will pass the current item here. Let's run this. You can see here, so the current row having the data row. Okay, so how we can read this? Okay, so to read this, we have to use the index. Okay, I'm just current value. I will just keep this as a current value. Then you have to use index, then current item. Then if you want to read the first column, you can keep one or two. Okay, it depends. So first column value. Okay, let's keep this as a first. Okay, first column value. Okay, similarly let's create for the second one also. Second column value, and I'm just changing the into second column. Okay, the index. Okay, now let's run this and see how it works. You can see here, so we got our first column value apple, and second is 5. Okay, then it will go on the iteration mode, then orange, and the quantity is 10. Good, right? So this is the one way of doing it. Okay, so we have, we can do it in another way as well. Let's first take the total rows. Okay, total rows. Then let's use the power fx here, count rows. Okay, you can use a count rows here, and you have to pass your data table. Okay, now it will return number of rows exist in the table. I will add a breakpoint so that we will quickly see what are the number of rows it is written. So you can see here we have 2 rows in our data table. That is fine. So the next step is we can even use loop as well. Okay, so here you have to start from 1. Okay, and increment by 1. You have to use equal here. Okay, so then end 2 is count, sorry, total rows here. Okay, now for first and second column values, we have to use read cell. Read cell, then you have to pass data table. Okay, data table and loop index. Then if you want the first column value, you can keep 1 or else 2. So this is for first one, and this is for second one, second column. Okay, let's disable this for now. We are good on this part, right? So I am adding a breakpoint here. Okay, so it is returning the first column value, and it is returning the quantity as well. Where it is, yeah, apple 5. So similarly it will return for the second row as well, orange and 10. Okay, once that is done, then it come out from the loop. Okay, so this is the true multiple way of doing it. Maybe based on your comfortable level, you can utilize this method or this method. Okay, that up to us actually. Okay, this is fine. And one more thing I want to cover on today's session is if you want to insert the rows in data table, right? Let's try that. So insert row in the data table. I'm just trying like the legacy way how we are doing it right now without power fx. Okay, so here instead of using percentage symbol, you have to use equal, Then the square bracket, we have to pass our data. Okay, so this is the data I want to pass to my data table. Okay, I want to insert the last row. Okay, let's try to run this. Okay, now it got added the last row, third one, but the problem is if you try to add, it becomes a custom object. I mean, in the table it is adding a JSON format only. Okay, if you want to see the data, it becomes a JSON, it converting into JSON untyped data. Okay, and similarly for the quantity as well. So that insert row in the existing table or the new table is not supported with the PowerFX current PowerFX syntax. Okay, so then what is the workaround? So we all know we can even insert the row using .NET script as well. Okay, that only I am going to show now. So let's use scripting, or let's drag and drop run .NET. Let's keep it VB script here. Okay, then we have to add our parameters. Okay, so our table, let's choose this as a data table and direction is in and out, and here we have to choose the data table and output variable also data table. We have to pass uh, fruit name. So this is the fruit name. I want to pass banana here. Okay, so I'm just typing banana here. Similarly for quantity also, string and in, this is fine, and 15. Okay, this is fine. Okay, now here you have to use the data table io data table dot rows dot add, then open bracket curly bracket. Okay, then here you have to pass the two parameters, in fruit name and in quantity. Let's double check this. In quantity looks fine. Okay, let's save this, and for now I am disabling this action. Let's run now. Okay, so initially we have the two rows and we are trying to insert through .NET script. Perfect. So it got added actually. You can see the banana and quantity 15 here. Okay. So this is the workaround currently we are having for insert a row in the data table, because the current the insert row into the data table, it is considering what are the rows we are trying to insert as a JSON format. Okay, and it becomes untyped data. I mean, if you're trying to push the values, it becomes a JSON, that's an untyped object. Okay. Okay, this is what I want to cover in the today's session. I hope this is helpful for many people who are trying to explore Power Effects in the Power Automate desktop. Um, Probably we'll catch up with another interesting topic soon. Thank you so much for watching.